So it's like I was looking at the CrossFit email and then I saw it. Rich Froning's out because he had some information from CrossFit. Yo, have you guys seen that conspiracy theory video? Any of them really on the internet. They play that sound in the background and it goes, I was watching the Avengers when in the background I saw something. And it's the doodle 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 doodle. And it'll be watching Iron Man 1 in 2008 and in the background you'll see Thanos' younger cousin doing something. It's like, if you would have seen this back then, you would have known what would have happened 10 years later. No one ever sees it because it's so small, you'll never pick up on it. But when you see those things, you understand that there was a plan. I think Kevin Feige's the guy, like the CEO of the Marvel Universe, and he puts all of these things together and he releases things. He's like, here's the movies that are coming out in this order. He confirms and denies certain things in that universe. But I think that CrossFit operates in a very, very similar universe. And I'm going to show you a handful of things in the CrossFit universe where, as I like to say, we don't believe in coincidences.
You're not allowed to believe in coincidence anymore.
The first thing is going to be from an email that was sent out. I think it was yesterday. It was the day after we went live on the Sevan podcast. It was myself, Brian, Sevan, and we missed a very key thing in there. And if you saw the team eligibility requirements, you'll see that in the email that they sent out the day after we did that live show, there's a bit in there that says the only thing that you need in order to be eligible on a certain team is to do the open workouts and the quarterfinal workouts in the affiliate that you're registered under, which to me sounds like they're trying to take steps into the right direction. You'll remember last year that I was adamant that CrossFit Mayhem Justice had an individual on that team that was not a member according to the rules in the rule book. Those rules stating that you had to be there from, what was it, January 13th on forward. You can see that the member of Mayhem Justice was not in Cookeville, Tennessee, or in the Tennessee area in certain timestamps on the Instagram profile. But you'll also see that that individual was doing the open and the quarterfinal workouts in CrossFit Mayhem. In the new rules, it's good to go. In the old rules, that should have been a no-go. And we heard about Victor Langsved of CrossFit Nordic Original, who was getting screwed out of his spot, albeit being able to show hundreds of documentations of being in the radius of the affiliate that was required, which was something like 200 miles, and having a certain number of training days at said affiliate. Now, all you gotta do is go for 3 freaking workouts in the open and 1 weekend of the quarterfinals, and you can compete on that team. And to me, it sounds a whole lot like the super teams are coming back. And Andrew, where's the conspiracy theory here? Well, Rich Froning's gone, isn't he? It's almost like he saw the writing on the wall. He's like, well, I won all of these things, and now the super teams are coming back, and I'm not going to be able to compete. So it's like I was looking at the CrossFit email, and then I saw it. Rich Froning's out because he had some information from CrossFit. And of course, that's me reaching a little bit. Doesn't mean that he quit for that reason.
Is that what you think? You think?
Maybe he's going to go do Masters Individual. Nobody really knows. But it is a strange coincidence.
You're not allowed to believe in coincidence anymore.
That the year after they bring back super teams where he was just dominating everybody else, it might make you think that he knew before everybody else knew. And it's not just Rich Froning and the Mayhem Empire, CrossFit Mayhem knowing everything. I'm not picking on CrossFit Mayhem. I think that everybody knows a whole lot of everything at the top level. And you may or may not have seen on the Rogue website that Katie Henniger had somebody demoing that log clean and jerk that they'll be doing at the Rogue Invitational. Very cool, right? Completely different. Something that really you're only going to see a CrossFit event done at the Rogue Invitational because they have the access to that stuff. They have all of the strongman implements. And everyone's looking at that. And then it's like, wait a minute. I thought I saw something about 3 months ago on the HWPO freaking YouTube channel. Rob Kearney, right? Rob Kearney was over with Matt Fraser and Jake Marconi. They were in his freaking little garage gym or whatever, and they were playing around with all the strongman implements. You'll see Matt O'Brien freaking learning how to do the log clean and jerk. Jake Marconi, which means that also Jason Hopper. The HWPO crew.
Keep that log nice and high on the chest. Then sit down on the side, squeeze. Good. Nice.
Had a big heads up, totally possibly from the Rogue Fitness freaking competition, the Rogue Invitational, that there was going to be a log clean and jerk. Maybe Rob Kearney said, hey, they asked me a whole lot of questions, like how much do you think CrossFitters can do? Maybe Rob Kearney said you should be expecting this at some point in time. And that's a second instance where it's like, okay, that's a small world.
You're not allowed to believe in coincidence anymore.
Rich Froning retires after they possibly bring that back to super teams. Okay. It's like, well, Matt Fraser and hard work pays off. Well, they're all doing log clean and jerks freaking in his garage 3 months before it was even released on the Rogue website, a couple of weeks before the Rogue Invitational. That's going to give him and his athletes a big step up. And then you're going to say, well, wait a minute, Mel O'Brien's not competing. It's like, well, you didn't know 3 months ago that you wouldn't be competing. Maybe there was something that popped up in between then and now. Maybe they didn't expect her to take second place at the CrossFit Games. Perhaps that took her out. Maybe she was going to compete if she finished like 10th at the CrossFit Games. You never know. Things change. It doesn't change the fact that possibly they knew things beforehand. I got another one for you though. Matt O'Keefe, 2021 Wadapalooza. I partook in that. I was on a team in the elite division.
The first video images are coming in. Watch very carefully now.
Alrighty.
There it is. Let's see that again.
Alrighty.
Very, very disturbing. And this just in from South Texas. Do they pose a threat? We are all going to be killed.
I remember that there was a rain delay on the third day of competition. We were supposed to do a workout that involved shuttle runs and handstand walks and sandbag carries, and there was a safety concern.
Raise your hand. Oh, Rich Froning taking control. Look at that.
Holy shit. Did he just say you don't want to do the workout the way it's programmed and you want to do another workout?
Yeah. That's exactly what he said.
And due to that safety concern, they implemented a new movement, a movement that no one had ever seen before. That movement was the line-facing burpee. Very interesting. I had never seen the line-facing burpee, and I have been very, very, very deep, about as deep as anybody could be in the CrossFit community in a long time. We've seen every single different iteration of the burpee, but never the line-facing burpee. Oddly enough, the line-facing burpee comes up in the following CrossFit season. And then in that instance, you think, wait a minute, I've seen that before. Where did I see that before? Matt O'Keefe said we can do line-facing burpees. Maybe it wasn't Matt O'Keefe. Maybe it was Matt Fraser, because Matt Fraser had a huge hand in the freaking Wadapalooza workouts, right? And if I'm not mistaken, I think Matt had to converse with Fraser. Matt O'Keefe had to converse with Matt Fraser about what they could probably plug in, and maybe the line-facing burpee is something that they knew that they would be bringing into the CrossFit season. And let's not forget that in 22.1, they were supposed to have the shuttle run. In the freaking quarterfinals, they had shuttle runs. And Wadapalooza, to my knowledge, was also the first event that had shuttle runs in their workouts. Part of the teams, I was going to do them. They got rid of the shuttle runs due to the fact that they thought it was going to be a little bit slippy. They replaced the shuttle runs with the line-facing burpee, which coincidentally ended up being 2 new movements in the 2022 CrossFit season. Matt Fraser, HWPO, Matt O'Keefe, the CEO of HWPO, and also a head honcho in the CrossFit community, also put on the Miami Bar Complex, which was a series of hang cleans and front squats and shoulder to overheads. Now, you tell me, what does that sound a lot like to you? Tell me. When you hear it, you'll know. Wait a minute, I thought about it. It was that complex that they had at all the semifinals. 3 cleans, 2 front squats, and a jerk, right? It seems like a mini version of the Miami Bar Complex. And now I know that I'm really big on that. I don't believe in coincidences.
I'm not allowed to believe in coincidence anymore.
And I brought up Froning kind of retiring because of the super teams coming on. And that was just a little bit of a laying the groundwork for the fact that I think that there's a handful of people in the CrossFit community that know everything that's going to be coming up eventually, somehow, some way. And information at that level means that they have a huge foot up on everybody else. Fraser's got a freaking log in his garage. A log that would have been a huge benefit if you learned how to use it months before they release it at the Rogue Invitational, where everyone only has a couple of weeks. Spend a couple of months training the line-facing burpee and the freaking shuttle run before the quarterfinals and the freaking CrossFit Open. That's going to give you a huge foot up on the freaking competition who learned it as it was being released to the open workouts. I'm not saying they know the open workouts, but maybe they do. They totally seem to maybe know the movements. And then Matt O'Keefe, who is the freaking CEO who is overseeing all of the workouts, along with Matt Fraser, who is the lead programmer for HWPO, plugs in the Miami Bar Complex, and then you see something oddly similar across all of the semifinals. Then you go, okay, Adrian Bosman, Matt O'Keefe, Matt Fraser. I'll throw one more at you. I've been following the What's Rich Doing programming for fucking ever. And there was a good couple of months right before the CrossFit Games where there was weighted double under, weighted double under, weighted double under. It was just the What's Rich Doing track, $50 a month. I had that from the first day that it was released. That year, the CrossFit Games was the first year that you saw a weighted jump rope. Notice similar things with the parallel handstand push-ups. The year Fraser dominated everybody with that and the heavy kettlebells, there was a giant chunk of training in the What's Rich Doing program with a bunch of parallel handstand push-ups. And at that point, he was competing on the team, but I saw the same exact thing with the freaking Need for Speed workout in the games. What was it? The sandbag cleans, which ended up being a D-ball in the box jump overs. Everyone was flying on that work. I don't remember the exact reps, but it was like 30 and 30, and everyone was going really freaking quick. But leading up to that games, sandbag cleans at least twice a week. Now I'll tell you what, I'm nothing big in this space. Small potatoes. But over the course of the last 8 to 9 months, I've heard more and more and more stuff than you guys could freaking imagine. Way more stuff than I would have imagined this time last year for sure. Everything this time last year, speculatory, guessing, not really wanting to make a video on it, but at this point in time, a year later, I like to say we don't believe in coincidences.
I'm not allowed to believe in coincidence anymore.
But is that me saying that we don't believe in coincidences, or is that me saying for a fact to the world who may be listening that there are people who know things? That's for you guys to decide. I plan on doing a pretty good job of plugging everything in so you guys can see stuff, but I'm going to let you guys make your decision, and I'm going to start editing this video. And Riller out.